my friends, and welcome to episode 37 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Pasquale Vari.
And I am Claudius Pera. Welcome to the show, everyone.
So today's fan profile is on Revonda Starnes, a fan who went from her first Kiss concert with her dad to having Eric Carr play drums on her head, to having dinner with Paul Stanley, to writing fictional stories about the band. We are proud to have Revonda on the show. Welcome to the Kiss Army Nation podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
nice
much.
to have you. So nice. As Pasquale was saying, we are joined by her, our good friend, Rolla Brown, who actually, I've never seen you guys, separate. So you're like the same entity, like always together. So welcome to the show, Rolla, once again.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So it seems you guys are always together, inseparable, and you can even be a part on a podcast. So before we begin our discussion with Revonda, can you tell us how the two of you met?
Me?
Both of you. How did you meet? How did you meet, both of you?
Well, we met on the Kiss Cruise. I think we met on the Kiss Cruise, but Rolla says that we met at a Kiss concert years ago, probably about 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been Rev and Roll ever since. R&R, rock and roll.
R&R, I love it.
Yep. Actually, I think we met at the concert in Charlotte, briefly, just briefly.
Yes.
And then we met on the cruise for a few times, but I think at Kiss Cruise 5, we were fast friends after that.
You're exactly right, but I do think it was before that, even maybe. But really tight after Kiss Cruise 5.
Yeah, we chatted backwards and forwards on Facebook. I know a lot, but yeah, Kiss Cruise 5 sealed the deal, I think.
Yeah,
you guys, you live close to each other, so
I'm about 3.5 hours away.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
Not too bad though.
But we text. She was just here last weekend. You missed the whole massage story, but that's a whole different thing.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Pass got that one.
So, Revonda, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us about that first Kiss experience with your dad.
Well, it was November 28th, 1976. And my first Kiss concert, my dad said, if you're going, I'm going with you. I have to take you. So here's this engineer, this really stoic kind of man, and me going in, and me losing my mind when Kiss came on, of course. And my father is sitting up there reading a book with a little light with earplugs. But what I didn't know was that he had secretly brought in a cassette player and had recorded the entire concert.
No! Oh, wow.
I have it, and I put it over onto a digital format now, but I have it on the original cassette. It was from an old Amway tape I don't know if you know what Amway is. It's some kind of like cleaning product tape that my father had found and just stuck it in there. And he surprised me with it after the show. And I played it and played it and played it. And you can hear me in my little 13-year-old voice. And he goes, which one of them is Kiss? And I go, they all are, Dad. Because he didn't know. But it was really a treasure. And now that I look back on that, I'm so grateful that my father, did that for me. And I have that. And it's so unique that I have it because, that was back in 1976. Paul still had the blonde in his hair. The snake was there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. It was raw. And they sang almost all of the songs off of Rock and Roll Over at that time on what I have.
Oh my God.
So I would like to eventually get that to Gene or even, Paul or someone and let them hear the recording that I have. It's raw, but it's still good. I've never
Of
played that for
course.
you, Rolla.
No, I haven't. I was just saying, you've told me this story, but you haven't played that tape for me. I would love to hear it.
I will do that. Very few people have heard it, but I will do that.
I would love to hear it.
Well, speaking of concerts, Rolla, so what's it like rocking out with Revonda at a concert?
I will just say, she is she's a very sweet and happy person most of the time, or I won't say most of the time. I'll say all of the time. But we always have a good rapport with each other, and we always have a lot of fun no matter what we do, and we just click and we just enjoy ourselves and have fun. I mean, she's like a sister to me.
Oh, that's so cool. So were you guys together all the time in the cruise? I guess so, eh?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't
do.
together all the time. We have to take a little me time every once in a while, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, we went horseback riding in Honduras. That was another adventure upon itself.
Every year on the cruise, Rolla and I we'll contact each other and say, what are you doing and which excursion are you going to take? And we coordinate sometimes dressing up on the cruise together so that, and it's fun. And, she's got my heart because, we have so many similarities and we travel well together and we had a lot of fun. It's a good relationship. And it, of course, all started because of KISS.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? So sometimes KISS is just the way to get real friends, and then it's much more than all the KISS. You become real, close friends, and it was everything initiated by the band, but then it goes to secondary position, so it becomes friendship first, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
You're right. It's the love of KISS that we all share. It has brought so many wonderful people into my life and all over the world. And it's like a big family. And we all have this same, like I was telling Pass earlier, we all have this same camaraderie.
Yeah.
And it's all because of KISS. And it's emotional for me, but
Right.
It is indeed. It's it's impossible to talk about KISS and not talking about collecting, right? And collectors,
Right.
and Pask, he's a huge collector. He's going through some periods of collector's fatigue now, so it's
I
been a
knew you'd
while.
say
that. But do you guys consider yourselves collectors? So Rolla, for instance, you told us that Revonda, she's very creative. How
Yeah.
so? So tell us more about that.
We were just talking about this with Pask earlier. She amazes me at times because she can look at something and see a costume in it where you and I would look at it and say, what? She doesn't even have to pick up a needle and thread. I mean, she can turn anything into a KISS costume or some kind of. She makes these amazing crowns, and she does all this. She does a lot of guitar pick jewelry. She's just.
Oh wow.
She's magical. I call her my fairy princess friend because she's so creative and magical, and it just blows me away some of the stuff she comes up with.
So, and then the stuff, Revonda, it comes to you like, you have this vision of what you want to do with something, do something special, something unique.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I can say that I've gotten that from KISS too. I mean, well, I'm creative, they're creative, and it's almost like an alter ego. I love the dressing up, the masquerade of it, and I always have. And KISS has been a big influence on me throughout my life as far as my creativity. Mm-hmm. It's all stemmed really around something to do with them. But yes, I get a vision in my head, and then I just put it together and I go for it. It usually turns out pretty good.
Great, fantastically good.
Wow. That's great.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And she does it all without needle and thread. I don't get it. I'm like, okay, she's a master with a hot glue gun. I'm
I was
like,
gonna say,
wow, this is just great. Glue gun.
So
I
this
actually-
creativity turned into a business, a small side business, right? Called Miss Kiss.
It did. It's been on hiatus since the pandemic, of course, but for a while there, I decided I do make jewelry, and I use antique and vintage pieces to make jewelry. And they're really different, and they're intricate, and they're elegant. And I thought, I need to do something with Kiss. And so I started out with a Gene Simmons and I think I showed you those the other day, passed
Yeah.
on those. And I wanted something different that was not in the traditional orange or red or that kind of, some of the Kiss stuff can be kind of, and I don't mean this bad, but gaudy. And I wanted something more elegant and soft for women, but yet have that rock and roll edge to it. So I started making the Kiss jewelry. And it just kind of, it started out with the earrings like I have on right now. I have on the little Hello Kitty Kiss earrings I made. Started giving them out at the cruise to my friends. Next thing I know, they were asking me if they could buy more. So I started making necklaces. And I took them to the cruise one year, and I had maybe about 30. And I was kind of trying to be secretive because I don't know if Six Man would really like me selling
Right.
stuff on there. But I opened up my little bag and I was swarmed by Kiss fans on the Kiss cruise that were like waiting in line to try to buy
Oh, wow.
my jewelry. And I had to close it up because I got nervous and I didn't want to break any rules. But yeah, some people were asking me, can you make me this? Can you make me this? And that's what I've been doing. So. And now that, I feel like with this last cruise that I didn't bring my jewelry then. I usually sneak in a few pieces on the cruise that I can, have a secret meeting in my cabin and you can come look at my goods.
It's true. It's true.
And I do sell them at a reasonable price. I mean, I don't want to gouge people. I just want to share my love and the beauty of Kiss. So that's what I do.
And it's mostly for women. It's women's jewelry, or it could, yeah.
Yes. I haven't really, stemmed out into men yet. I've been doing just women's jewelry, and I wish I could show you, but they're unique and they're not. They're very elegant, and I'd love for Gene to see them. maybe he would like. Cut me a deal.
Have you tried to connect with the band and see if there's any possibility of doing business together?
I did, but I didn't pursue it. I had some connections that I could do, and it was on the cruise, and I could have taken those to Gene, but I felt like I didn't really want to bother him.
Okay.
So I was like, it kind of made me nervous. Anytime I get around a member of Kiss, I get very nervous and I act like a schoolgirl. So,
So Revonda, your creativity started pretty early in your life, and back in your teen years when you were writing fictional romance stories about the band. Now this I need to hear.
Well,
look, Rolla is laughing already.
Well, you were looking at a very petite braces training bra. Never been on a date, and Kiss were like my boyfriends, my best friends, my heroes, and I needed to get this out. So I was like, I'm going to write stories about Kiss and me. But I changed the names, of course, and I wrote about, I would say, over 100 stories that I still have today. And it kind of like just was a catalyst for my writing as well, because I started writing more and more and more involved the older I got about Kiss. And they were just very involved stories, romance, kind of just played out my fantasies. One of the first stories I ever wrote was called Beware of Young Girls. And it was about me and Peter. Because at the time, Peter was my favorite. And then as I got older, I realized that Paul was where it was at. Paul was happening at that point. So, I mean, I always loved Paul, but then my story started getting more involved with Paul. And I mean, I'm just very proud of them. I still have them. And I look back at that and I think, wow, I did that. And it was all because of Kiss. And people read them, you know, I would bring them to school and people would read them and say, this is great. This is great. You ought to send them away to like 16 magazine or something, you know, but I never did that either. So
now, do you have those on, do you have those typed up and saved in your computer somewhere, or are they just still handwritten?
They are under my bed in a big box and they're handwritten, all of them. And yes,
okay,
I've had them all for years.
I'm going to need you to retype those and put them in your hard drive somewhere, my dear, so they will be protected.
Yes, next time you're down, I'll show you to them.
Okay.
And my little girl, curly Q handwriting, I will show you.
Wow,
Okay.
that's awesome. Going back to the Kiss Cruise, you know, stories and adventures. Rolla, we know that you told us before you shared many different experiences with Revonda. So, Revonda, how many Kiss Cruises have you attended?
I've been on them all, 10.
Oh,
go.
10. Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I went on my first one out, and then I was like, I can't look back now. I gotta go. So, all 10 years.
Wow.
Been quite the experience.
And which one was your favorite, if you can pick one?
The first one was magical because you're standing there and we were leaving the port of Miami and it was in the evening and I could see the Miami buildings in the background, and my favorite band in the world were playing behind me, and I couldn't believe that I was there on a ship with Kiss and going to be in the middle of the ocean with them, actually. And it was an amazing experience to see that and feel that and be one of the forerunners to be on the Kiss Cruise 1 and be able to go. And I was able to go to both shows and, you get your picture made with them back then, and which was something I wish they had never taken away because that was such a special event. It was nerve-wracking for me, but one year on the cruise, do you remember Paul's jacket that he wore in 1976 with all the feathers?
Mm-hmm.
Same Black Diamond. Well, my creativity, I glue gunned my jacket that I have with all the feathers. And when I walked in to get my picture made, Paul looked at me with the coat that I made. He knew exactly what it was and said, "That's great. I love it." Because he knew what it was. And we had our picture made, and it's one of my favorite pictures of Paul and I. Kiss Cruise 5 was very good too, because of that was the whole Alive album. And that, yes, and the show was incredible. Them being in their costumes, and it was just like a replica of 1976 when I first saw them, and I was mesmerized, and I was also teary-eyed seeing them in that format on the Kiss Cruise. So I have to say that was one of my favorite ones, Alive. Yeah.
Number 5. Okay. And outside of Kiss, which other bands did you enjoy the most on the cruise?
I love Steel Panther.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I had never seen them before, and I became a big Steel Panther fan after the cruise. And I've seen them many times, and I've met them, and they're great guys. And they were one of my favorites.
Okay. Okay. And of all the cruises you attended, of course, nothing is going to compare to getting to meet Rolla for sure. Okay. But what other experience or experiences stand out the most for you, so that you have those memories, that you will never forget?
When Rolla and I and another friend of ours dressed up like Gene, and he came out of a restaurant and he saw us and he said, "Oh my God." And he came up and he said, "I have to have a picture." And so he got his bodyguard to take pictures of me, my friend Carrie, and Rolla. And we're there with Gene, and he asked us for that photo. That was a great experience.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God! So you were all dressed like Jean, all
Yes.
three of you.
All three of us.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, that's awesome.
Yes, they were quite. Yeah, they were. And I had on the. I had made the costume. It was when I think it was 73, 74 when Gene had the skull on the front of his shirt.
73. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in that costume. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. And I was so excited to be able to meet him and do that. But, I've been lucky enough to be, right at front since I've been going on the cruise, and I've been, going since the beginning. I'm always right at front of the stage, and I'm right there in the action. I'm not in the pit because I'm short, so I didn't want to, get down in there. But just being able to see them in such an intimate setting, and it's like they're so close you could reach out and touch them there. And that's one of the main reasons I go on the Kiss Cruise, is that concert. Well, other than that, and seeing all my wonderful friends that I've met through Kiss, and of course being able to travel. There's a lot of great things about the Kiss concert. About the Kiss Cruise.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I guess you're gonna be on the next one, right?
Yes, I think I'm going. I can't. I'm already number 10. I can't let this one, go by.
Of course, same as Rolla. Rolla will be there too. She told us
Will
already.
be-
And so will we.
There you go. Yes, sir.
So will we.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what would you like to see for the next one, for Kiss Cruise 11?
Well, of course, I'd love for them to bring back the photo, but I doubt that they ever will do that again. I just think that was lightning in a bottle, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. And I know you, right, Rolla?
Yeah.
Being able to get your picture made with them, and I have all those memories. I guess essentially just keep doing what they're doing.
Okay.
They've got a formula. It works. We're used to it. It feels like coming home every year that I get on the ship. It's familiar. It's home. It's cozy. It's Kiss.
So, Rolla, we were discussing with Revonda, the great experiences during the cruise. What are your most memorable moments with Revonda during the cruises?
I would have to say, of course, the concerts, all the concerts we've been to. I think I saw Steel Panther the first time with her, and I distinctly remember us laughing through the whole concert because I had never heard such lyrics in my life.
Oh.
And it was quite the experience. I'm like, what is this? And who are they? And I've seen Steel Panther with her a few times since then. So that, and of course Kiss, that's the reason why we're on the ship. We always take a little beach break together. We always coordinate, like she said before, we coordinate as far as excursions. And I think that year that we were in Jamaica, we ate some of the best food that we've ever eaten before in our lives. Jerk chicken and collard greens. Oh my God.
Goodness.
And this past cruise, Kiss Cruise 10, it was my great idea to go horseback riding, and that was such fun, such fun.
It was.
we had a great time. I think she was a little apprehensive about it at first, but she's like, I'm glad we did it. I'm so glad we did it. And we just had a great time, even though she had a stubborn horse who had a mind of his own.
Just like the one that was writing it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Really?
And the funny thing about that is my horse's name was Rebel, and I thought, well, she should be riding Rebel since she's such a rebel. But anyway, but we had a great time that day. Yeah, and we always enjoy the beach and just hanging out and chit-chatting about our favorite band and other things, because we both work in healthcare, and that in itself is a lot to talk about. So.
Stressful. I'm glad we did that. It was a good idea.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got there and they said you have to wear a helmet, I was like, this could be a deal breaker.
Love it.
Not on this poof. I didn't want to. but I gave in. It's just like one year when I was on the Kiss cruise, and I think I was in Bahamas, and I always wanted to, be with the dolphins. And they said, you have to put on this wetsuit. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that could be a deal breaker too, because when you walk squeak in one of those. But I did it, and I was able to, do a bucket list and, swim with the dolphins and ride the horse in Honduras. So it was a good thing, Rolla. Good idea.
Now I need to talk her out of jumping out of an airplane with me.
That's not going to happen.
That's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker now.
That is the deal breaker. Yes.
Please.
I know you're going to do it, Revonda. She's going to convince you to do it. You'll do it.
Not that one I want. No.
Hey, Rolla, I don't recall if I asked you this, but it sounds that you guys you had so much fun during Kiss Cruise 10. But what are your expectations for the next one, for the 11, for next year?
Well, I would like to see the photo shoot come back, but
okay,
I don't know that that's going to happen. Like to see more deep cuts. Absolutely. I am very excited about LA. I've never been there before. So
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And the ports, of course, I've never been on to any of those ports before. So I'm hoping it's going to be an all new adventure, so we'll see how that goes. But.
It is true. The fact that it's in LA, it brings a new vibe, and for people that have never been to LA, you can do, you can go and see, the Hall of Fame, the stuff and the walk and everything. So there's so much Kiss stuff there that it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited about all that. So. We'll see.
So to continue on, Revonda, we talked earlier, and you said that you met most members of the band, except for Mark St. John. So let's talk about some of those experiences. We'll start with Paul Stanley.
Well, that's hard. When I first met Paul, I actually met him many, many, many years ago when I accidentally I was young. I was 19, and I was going around with my college girlfriends around the back of the Coliseum, and their tour manager is stepping off the bus, and I'm such a little joker. I was like, "Oh," he had on like a little patch, backstage pass, and I go, "What do I have to do to get one of those?" And he goes, "You don't want to know." And so I was like, "Oh." So anyway, we started talking, and we developed this friendship actually. And he took me inside the Coliseum, and my friends went to the front, and he took me in, and he sat there, and we talked and talked and talked, and I was telling him about my stories and everything I've done with that, and he and I know I'm kind of getting off subject about me and Paul, but that Paul was back there at that time, and that's how I got to meet him at that point. But really neat story about what he did was he told me, he said, for all your years that you have loved Kiss, he said, I'm going to do something for you. And he took me underneath the stage while Kiss was playing with a little light. We went up these stairs, and then he sat me on the side of the stage, and I actually was sitting on the side of the stage with Kiss as they played back then, and I've never forgotten that moment. Yes, he did that, and so he and I remained friends for many years, and he's a good guy, and he would always invite me if Kiss came into town, after we met that when I was so young. And that's how I met Kiss. A lot of the members was being able to go backstage through my friend and meet them. But the first time I actually really met Paul was when I bought a painting. And, I spoke with him, shook his hand, and I was talking 90 miles an hour and telling him that my hand was sweating and I loved him so much. And I embarrass myself with Paul. What I do. I'm a big dork. I'm a big dork when I get around Kiss. I turn into that little screaming little girl of 12 and 13 years old, and I'm shy and I'm goofy and I stutter, and it's terrible. So when I bought Jester, of course, Paul's painting Jester, and the only thing that I could say when we're standing, and I'm standing next to him and we're getting our picture made together, was, "You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful." And he was taking his knee and pressing it into the back of my leg, like I was moving forward. So every time I would say that, and I have the sweetest picture of he and I, because after I was getting ready to leave and I met him, I turned around and it was like a romance novel that I'm famous for. I ran back to him and put my arms around him, and they got that shot for me, and I have that picture, and it's one of my favorite pictures of me and Paul, and he's got this surprised look on his face because I'm hugging him with my eyes closed. With all my
I love it. So awesome.
I know, and I do dorky things like say, "You have a really hairy chest. Can I touch it?" It's bad.
Yeah.
That's what I do, and he didn't didn't say anything, and I went, "Oh yeah, it is." And I just reached out. So bad.
I love
So
it.
embarrassed at myself. Yes, Paul is intimidating to me. He's got this stare, and I mean, he's just, no pun intended, but larger than life when you see him, and he's intense and he's smart, and he makes me really nervous, but I'm very, very grateful that I was able to meet my love.
Wow, what an experience.
Any dorky experiences with Gene Simmons?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, there's no holds bars with this. The first time I met Gene, he was signing some things. He was in costume. It was at a meet and greet, and I thought, this was 2009. I thought, I'll never meet these guys again. I'll never see them again. I'm just going to blow it out. I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to tell you what I did, and it's bad, but I knocked on his codpiece because I thought I did. I'm petite and he's really tall, and it was about right there. So I just went, knock, knock, knock. And Gene goes, and he's holding out his hands. I have pictures of us together of that very moment, and I'm dying laughing after I had knocked on his codpiece. But why did I do that?
What a way to break the ice, right? So that's
Yeah.
I just thought, well, that was, I thought, you only live once, so I'm going to do it. So I did. But guess what? I saw him and met him more after that, so I should have been more careful.
Now I'm afraid to ask. How about meeting Peter Criss?
Oh, Peter was great. He was great. Because he was my first Kiss love, and I took a picture of me that I had made out of my what would you call it? My leotards. I had leotards when I took dance class when I was 12 and 13 years old, and I had made a Peter Criss outfit out of it. See, Rolla, my creativity started way back then. So I was dressed up like Peter Criss, and I was 13, and I took it to Peter, and I showed it to him. He loved it, and he signed it and put "Love Peter" on it, and it's one of my most cherished possessions that I have that from him. And he was kind, and and I was kind of, I'm telling you, I'm dorky and I get emotional. So I'm kind of like when I get around Kiss, it's kind of like during Detroit Rock City, when they play, during the break with the guitars. Every time I well up when I hear that. It's just when it's live, when I'm seeing them there, because it takes me back to that time when, the world was different, and Kiss were my heroes, and it's just something that most people nowadays can't experience, what we experienced being able to have them, because they were larger than life. So yeah, Peter was great. Loved him.
Oh, very well said. Now, Rolla, you and Revonda met Ace Philly together, right?
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Well,
Rolla's like, wow.
Ace was actually the last member that I met, and I was so grateful. And again, of course, I get teary-eyed, and and I'm in front of everyone, but you know how he is. I was like, "Oh, I've loved you since 1976," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, 76. I was there." He is. That was, "Oh,
She
yeah, I
has
was there."
impersonations too. Did I tell you that?
You know how he does. But, I was so excited that Ace was the last one that I met, and I was able to complete the original foursome, But yeah, me and Ace, me and Rolla met Ace last weekend.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we were telling
okay,
Pascal
last weekend.
about-
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier about how he was a little grouchy, but
He was.
he was tired. He had just gotten through playing almost a 2.5 hour set, so he was tired. I get it.
Where did you meet him?
Newberry,
South
South Carolina. Is that how you say it?
Newberry.
Newberry. Okay.
Okay.
Newberry.
But you went to the hotel, or you just, after the show or before the show? When?
It was after the show. It was a little special meet and greet.
Okay.
That
Okay.
was fun, too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. So, Revonda, talking about Kiss members, I want to hear about this story of Eric Carr, playing the drums on your head. So, how did that come about?
Once again, everything I have with Kiss is usually by happenstance. And once again, I was backstage, and it was during the Animalize. And of course, my attentions were trying to figure out where Paul was, and what I could see of him. And Eric was relatively new to the band at that time, but such a super, super nice guy. And I was intently, scouring around, looking around, trying to see if I could find Paul. And Eric came over and just had his drumsticks and just started playing on my head. And and I was kind of like, wait, where's Paul? But now to this day, I'm so grateful that he did play on my head. And I was able to meet him, and he was super nice, and one of the sweetest people you'd ever meet, just down to earth, genuine, kind, and grateful. He was really like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, he
And-
was indeed.
He was. And on my Kiss journey, I'm glad that he was a part of it, and I was able to meet him.
Absolutely. And with the other members, so I understand that you also met Vinnie Vincent. So how was meeting him?
I was actually with Rolla.
Yep.
We met
Oh.
Together. Yep.
Mhm. He was nice. He was nice. Now, he wasn't always my favorite member of Kiss, but I needed it to complete my set, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, of course, yeah.
And I had met I had made him actually a jewelry and one of his little ankhs, and I had made it and was going to give it to him. Remember, Rolla?
Yeah.
And it broke.
Yeah.
We were in the floor trying to pick up the pieces of the necklace to give to him. Finally, they had to usher us off, but because somebody else was coming up. But meeting him, he was nice. He was kind. He was very grateful, and he actually wanted that necklace that he never got that I made for him.
Okay. So what are your memories, Rolla, about meeting Vinny at that time with Revonda?
A lot of people, people say, I know I've heard a lot of mixed emotions about him, and that day, it's like Revonda said, he was very personable. He was very kind. I think I want to think he put his arms around us. I can't remember, but he was very pleasant. He really was. He was very gracious, I think, and like she said, very thankful to be there, to be able to meet with his fans, But it was a good experience, and I'm glad. I've never really been a big favorite of his either, but I am grateful to have gotten to meet him.
Of course,
it was a good day. It was a really good day.
Nice. And Revonda, what are your memories when you met Bruce Kulick?
Again, one of the nicest people ever, and just super cordial, just a down to earth. He was like Eric, and I met him during the time of Animalize as well. And not too long ago on Facebook, Bruce friended me, and I told him, I said, I met you years and years ago in the 80s. And he goes, I remember. So it was kind of neat that after all this time that we circled back around, and, I was very grateful that I was able to meet him and have that. Like I said, he's a part of my history, my Kiss journey.
Wow. And he was fairly new. I guess when you met him for the first time, he just joined the band, right?
Exactly. Both of those guys were new.
Wow.
So I was very able to meet them at that point in time.
Really cool. And what about Eric Singer?
I love Eric. He's great. He calls me Miss Revonda. Every time he sees me, he makes fun of my accent. He said, "How y'all doing? There's Miss Revonda." That's what he'll do. But I know I'm Southern, and he likes to play up on that. But he is a super guy, fun, just personable. Every time I've met him, I love Eric. I think he's such a great addition to the band, and has been such a steadfast, solid foundation for them. And he's, I don't know if people realize it, but he's really the backbone for them right now. I mean, with the singing, with the backup singing, he pulls it. And I'm grateful to have met him as well many times.
That's great. So lucky. And last but not least, what about Tommy Thayer?
I met Tommy on the Kiss Cruise when I was dressed up like hotter than hell. And he was judging the Halloween costume. And I was lucky enough to have my picture made with him. And once again, just a good, solid guy. Great addition. He's been there for Kiss, and he's been there for the fans. I enjoyed meeting him, and like I said, just a good, down-to-earth guy. Personable.
Awesome. You met them all. That's great.
I did. I'm very lucky. I'm blessed. I'm blessed as a Kiss fan, I have to say. I've been able to do more in the most happenstance ways, that I'm just grateful.
Of course. Awesome.
So we've been talking about all the Kiss members that you've met. Let's talk a little bit about some of the members of the Kiss Army. It's obvious that you and Rolla are really good friends and really close. Tell us about some other members of the Kiss Army that you've met through your adventures.
on the cruise, especially, I have so many fond memories um, of the people I consider my family now, that we share the same mantra in life, and which is, we are one. Most of the people that you have spoken with on your podcast, I've met, and they're my friends, and they're great people, and it's just enriched my life, having these people in them and surrounding myself with fellow Kiss fans, and yeah, just fantastic.
And it's mesmerizing, listening to you, Revonda, I have to say, and seeing your great, friendship with Rolla. So we're so happy to have you, and listening to all these wonderful stories. This is a great moment for the podcast. This is great. Thank you so much for being here.
I truly, really, truly appreciate you guys having me here, and I thank you so much.
So, Revonda, for our next episodes, we're going to be doing the 2021 KISS retrospective. So, what do you feel were the highlights in 2021 for KISS, with all the different events that happened, and what are the most outstanding things related to KISS in 2021?
Well, I definitely think that the A&E special that was fantastic, and it was warming to my heart to see Paul and Jean sitting there talking about the history together, and you could tell they really care about each other, and that was warming. That was heartwarming for me to see that, and to see that was that was a well-planned documentary. And I think if you've never been a KISS fan, once you watch that, you would be, if you saw where the band has been and where they are today.
Yeah, it was nicely done. I think you're right. So I have many friends who are not actually KISS fans, and after they watched the documentary, actually, maybe they didn't become diehard, but now they know better, the story of the band, and that they appreciate more their music, and such a legendary band.
Exactly. That's what I felt. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah. Rolla, I would like to ask you the same question. What were the 2021 highlights for you?
The A&M that special, of course, was a highlight. This show has been a great highlight.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, there have been very little KISS related things in over a year and a half. So for me, I think actually being able to see them on the cruise, for the first time in a year and a half was just so awesome just to see that. So for me, I'm going to say, aside from you guys and the special, that was probably the icing on the cake for me.
Well,
just
thank you.
Thank you for a year and a half to see no concerts at all, nothing.
Yeah.
But
No, what an honor. Thank you so much, Rolla, for that.
Thank you.
It's always an honor to have you on the show. It's always so much fun.
It's good to be here always.
So we're going to wrap up the show with one final question, and we usually end it this way with our fan profiles. So Revonda, we have a lot of casual KISS fans who listen to this podcast. What would you like to tell some of our listeners about what it's like generally being a KISS fan?
I think that if you're a KISS fan, you're something special. You have been empowered to be somebody different and stand above, because some people don't understand KISS, and for those of us who do, you get it and you understand, and that's
it's great. It is exactly that.
You're right. Some people, they either get KISS or they don't, and those of us who do, that's why we're so tight. That's why we're so together, and we're like a family, because we understand. We understand the mystery and the masquerade and the music, and how that has made us part of who we are. I know that KISS has made me who I am today. I will always carry them in my heart. They've influenced me in so many ways, and I can't imagine a world without them.
Me either.
I want to second what Claudia was saying earlier on. Revonda, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show, and you really speak from the heart. And that was really evident when you talked about meeting each of the members of the band. You spoke with such genuine love and affection. You can tell that this is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And it was just an honor listening to those stories. And I think our listeners are going to get a real kick out of it. So thank you so much for sharing all that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And yes, I do speak with emotion because I do love Kiss. They are a part of me. They've been a part of me for 46 years, and I've grown up with them. So I do. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Rolla, something that you would like to say, something like closing remarks for this episode?
I am always honored to be here. I love speaking with you guys and sharing the Kiss story. It's like Revonda said before, we are actually one. We really are. We're so much alike and so different. And just listening to everybody's stories and Revonda's stories and talking with you guys is just amazing. And it's just great what you guys are doing here, and I love it.
Wow, thank you so much.
Even though you asked me crazy questions.
With rolling eyes. We love your rolling eyes. You know?
I know you do. I know.
Thank you for providing this forum for us. And,
yes.
And yes.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Well, Revonda, I have to second, everything that you guys were saying. It was such a pleasure to have you in. So you transmit so much passion and love, for Kiss and for the Kiss fans, for the family. You were saying that we become like a cult, we belong to each other. And, I can't wait to meet you in person in Kiss Cruise 11. We're going to have so much fun. It was an honor to have you in the show. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. It's so nice to meet you, and I look forward to meeting you in person as well.
Thank you.
That is going to be a blast.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
So, to the Kiss Army, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone. The Kiss Army Nation podcast has partnered up with Click T-Shop to offer our listeners a high-quality t-shirt with graphic design by Xander Graphics. Check out Click T-Shop at clickteeshop.com.